I need a boost. I want some juice. I see someone more flip from one into two. Won't you give it to me? Come good, come good, come good, come good. What you gon' do, boy? What you gon' do? You best do something with it, something with it, something with it, something with it. Can you come through, boy? Can you come? You better check your source if you think you know a thing about me. Been working on my patience, it ain't coming naturally. It irritate my soul if you try to do me. Know the rules to the game, so don't try to play me. I already been through the fire. I need a real ass nigga take me higher. What you trying to do? Let me know. You ain't with it. There'll be another one coming, baby. Speed on fire. So come get it, come get it, come get it, get with it, get with it.
Yo, and for those of you that are just tuning in, already know that this is Prophet Radio with WEMS Radio, and I am your host, Prophet Pete, and I am here tonight to bring you a special edition with the ladies that have soulful voices that are going to do some wonderful things in this music industry because they provide their God-given talent to the world. And introducing, letting her come in, someone that is not a stranger to what's going on today. How you doing, Phoenixx? How you doing this evening, Miss Lady? I can't. We almost there. We almost there. It's about to pull your audio.
Yeah, there we go.
There you go. How you doing, Miss Phoenixx? It's been a minute.
How are you? Yes, it's been a while. How have you been during this current events? I'll put it like that.
It's like all you could do is like kind of shake your head about it and just like, yeah, it has been crazy.
It has, but we still here, so thank God.
We're here, thank God, and thank the people that support us, that are around us to keep us up, because it is a little crazy. It's hard to watching the news and everything that's going on. It's a little hard to stay positive.
Yeah, it is, and I think what we're learning from this is like all we have is each other. So we got to make the most out of it, even if it's difficult or it's challenging. We still, at the end of the day, that's all we got. So, you know.
Yeah. And I think during this time, we realized who was really for us and who wasn't.
Right.
Because when you're up, everybody's around you and doing whatever. But when stuff gets a little rough, they start to bail on you and don't even know how to be supportive. So this time did show a lot for many, many people. Exposed a lot of people, I would say.
And you know what's even funnier? Like, as you were talking, I was thinking about the word essential. And it's like, we've been hearing that word a lot, but that word is applicable to people too. And I think when you were saying like finding out who's for you and who's not, is really about even essential people. Like, who's essential? Like, if I'm in an emergency, who can I call if I'm in the hospital? Who can I call if I'm sick? Who can I call if I need them to run an errand? Who can I call if I need somebody to talk to? Who can I stop by their house, or we go to the park or something together, and I could talk to them and I feel a little bit better and I could get through the day. So we not only found out we appreciate things like getting a haircut or getting our hair done, but we also appreciate people who come through in a clutch. So like the word essential, I think it goes across the line. It's not just about things, it's about people too.
Yeah, definitely. And it's just crazy how in just a split second, it just seemed like it was instant. It went from one day of our normal, whatever we considered our normal to be, to it just changing on a Monday. It was like, it was, Monday, guess what? And it's like, what you mean, guess what? And it was all shut down. And New York is still, I think that they're hiding a lot. I think there's a lot of stuff they're not putting out there anymore. But the rest of the country is getting that spike that they've been talking about this whole time. And I don't know. I got to go outside every day because I'm considered that essential employee. And or personnel, or whatever, however you want to put it. And there's a lot of people outside that are being reckless, no mask,
Right.
and just being out there, and it's crazy. But on a positive note, right,
Right.
right, on a positive note,
Right.
you got
You gotta do the yin and the yang.
yeah, the yin and the yang. Yeah, right. We talked about it a little bit. Okay, it's out of here.
Right.
That's it. Hell with
Mm-hmm.
COVID and all that other nonsense. But we got your music.
Yes.
Your music. Like,
The music.
what's up with that?
I literally have it was a journey for me to find my artistry because I was a songwriter for so long. So like the journey is just funny to me because like it started off with me just kind of like experimenting and filling it out and seeing how people respond to me like rapping and that becoming like an alter ego. But recently I just dropped an R&B record called Halfway that I was inspired by a close friend of mine to put out. So I'm moving forward. I put that out, and then I have something else coming out in the fall as well. But on the flip of that, on my SoundCloud, I've been putting out some freestyles and some hip hop joints. I've been really like, paying homage to like some of the greatest producers. So I did a Ninth Wonder beat, I did a Jay Dilla beat, until they find me and take it down. I've been rocking out. Yeah, blacks people just took down one of my remixes on Audio Mac. But I look at it as a blessing, like, you know what I'm saying? That means somebody heard it and it was fire. Like that's how I look at it. Because if it was, I mean, honestly, if it was trash, it would be like, would you go through that much trouble to reach out to Audio Mac and tell them take it? You know what I'm saying? Like you wouldn't care. So I'm blessed to, know that people are listening, people watching, obviously. But yeah, I've been promoting Halfway and those freestyles on SoundCloud, and I'm waiting for the fall. I got a really dope record, and I want to line it up correctly. I have been talking to a friend today, though. I
Now,
do have
real,
a joint
you
that I'm
pro.
thinking about dropping on my birthday, which is in another week and a half. So I don't
Uh,
know. I might drop something.
so wait, what does that make you? I don't even know. I'm not
Like
great with.
Cancer, it's Cancer season.
Oh,
They
okay.
say we sensitive. We are sensitive, but we're loyal. And that's why we're sensitive, because we take things personal and people do things to us because we would never do it to them. And that's the flip side that people don't tell people about why we're sensitive.
Uh,
Nobody tells the other half of the story, right?
yeah. But how much does you being a Cancer actually play a part in you making music?
I think it obviously plays a part from an emotional perspective. People say we're an emotional sign. We are an emotional sign. And I used to take that offensively, but I don't anymore because I thought of this quote one day. I don't know if I thought of it. Maybe somebody patented it already, but I was like, what is a life that you can't feel? People say, oh, you're emotional, but who wants to go through life numb? Now we all have moments where we may experience depression or we may be sad, but who wants to live their whole life feeling nothing? When you fall in love, that's a good feeling, even though heartbreak hurts too. But heartbreak hurts so bad because you remember what it felt like to be in love, and the pain of not having that anymore is what makes a heartbreak a heartbreak. So what's a life you can't feel? So me being a Cancer, I think, us being so emotional, I'm able to express things that other people may feel but not be able to say. And I'm willing to be vulnerable and really say what it is, and not front. Like I just funny, my friend was challenging me to like write some songs where I'm a little more like free flowing and freestyling, and I wrote a song called Dead Ass. You know what I mean? But the song is called Dead Ass because it's really like I met somebody. I knew they was full of crap, but they had a little charisma, and it threw me off with their guard. And you caught me, and I'm like, you caught me slipping, dead ass, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes we're afraid to say that, but not every time do you deal with somebody are you able to get the best of them. We always writing these cocky records, like, yeah, I got you and got these in a bag, and I let them go. I don't have no feelings, and I'm cold, and da da da. But sometimes somebody catches you slipping. You know what I'm saying? That's real. That's real. You know what I mean? And we all are subject to it sometimes. So I think being a Cancer definitely, especially when it comes to sad songs, I could write the hell out of a sad song. I haven't done it in a while because culturally, just where music has went, ain't nobody really trying to hear that type of stuff. But I can make you cry if I want to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And meeting you, and we've spoken and we've been in a room speaking about relationships and things like that. So I know for sure I've heard the stories. So I definitely think that that does play a part in your music. Even with halfway listening to it, it was one of those things. You said it was inspired by something that your friend was going through, and
No, it was actually me.
oh, it
That
was
was a situation. Yeah, this song was about me. There was another song I think me and you were talking about where I wrote I was telling you a song I wrote called Leaving is the Hardest Part.
mm,
That song was inspired by a friend, and I had a mixtape that was coming out, but I decided not to put it out because I wasn't really happy with it overall as a project. But I may drop that song in the fall. But it's called Leaving as the Hardest Part. That was the song we're talking about. But this song, Halfway, this song was about the longest relationship I've ever been in, which was like off and on for like 8 years. And I'm only in my 30s. So 8 years is a crunch, a time. You feel me? Um, but I was just with somebody who wanted me to do all of these things. And he had this whole list of like, after you do this and after you do that, and after you do that, I'll cuff it. I'll be serious about it. And I was just like, year after year was going, and I was just like, well, how much I gotta do? Like, when do you get to see me halfway through and give me some of the things that I need to feel secure in this relationship? And it was very one-sided with him. Like, I had to prove something to him before he could be the man I needed him to be. And I was like, this is not how love works. And then I started to feel foolish for putting all of that time in, and that's where that song came from. Just like, I was just frustrated. Like, bruh, I'm putting in numbers with you. Like, I'm your common law wife at this point. Like, what are we doing here? We getting older and older. I feel like we in the same place. This is not cool.
and what made you what do you think contributed to him kind of dragging it out the way that he did, or actually saying, hey, the more you if you do this and this, then maybe we can get there.
Well, I think that he was influenced by who he was around. And he had a cousin who's pretty much a womanizer. And I think that he subconsciously picked up some of his habits. On the flip side of that, a lot of the times, just being transparent, I would attract fixer uppers. I would attract men that I had to like, help build their confidence or help encourage them to do certain things. And I had a pattern of this codependency thing. And he was the first alpha male that I ever dated, where like he had money and he was working and he had his home place. And I think maybe in my shift of perspective of trying to attract a different type of man, I attracted the total extreme. So I got somebody who was like pretentious and arrogant and cocky, and because he was a musician, like a child prodigy. So he never read a sheet of music in his life. He was nasty. You could play something for him for 45 seconds. He'll play it back to you and better than the original track. Like, it's like super stupid talented. So
Yeah.
I think just from him being talented, you know what I'm saying? A lot of girls wanted him. I played it kind of humble with my approach with him. I kind of checked him out. I studied him for a while. I wasn't on it on some thirsty, type of energy. And I think that that's what made him attracted to me, because I moved a lot differently than a lot of those girls. And he grew up in the church, and I grew up in the church too, but I still have friends in the hood and friends in the street. So my mentality is a little bit more diverse than those type of girls that be in our scene. So I think he peeped that too, because he was a hood dude on the flip side. Like, he played organ and all that, but he comes to church in Jordans. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's different. So I think he liked the fact that I marched to the beat of my own drums as well, and that attracted us to each other. But he was super arrogant, and it was like, I was happy to have a different kind of man, but it was like, at what cost? Like, you're a prick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want this either. Like, I don't want a guy that I have to build all the way up, but I don't want a dude that feel like I work for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not your employee. This
Yeah.
is a relationship. It was crazy.
Yes. So what we're going to do is I'm gonna play that halfway, and then
Okay.
I'm gonna see if I can actually play the video, which would be a lot better. Let's see. Let me get to
Thank you for watching.
it.
I
Yeah.
had a little slip up with that too. I had to put it out. I didn't like how it uploaded, so then I had to take it off and re-release it. and I was all stressed out, having an anxiety attack. But just being an artist, we always have like this tunnel vision with things, but everything happens in time and that it's supposed to.
Yeah, definitely. And I've I've seen you I've seen your performances, several of your performances. Um, so we're gonna get into this right now.
Let's go.
All right. Hold up. Let me see because it's playing, but I don't hear anything. There we go.
We keep having the same arguments. I mean, I don't really get it.
It sounded real crispy.
We don't even make love. Takes so much to make love. Make it worth the fight. Yelling, we dropped out of heaven, taking me through hell, and here we are again. I submit, you call it quits, so I decide that I'm over it. Can't have this, we suffer it, and since it's really love, why would you give it up? Can't you leave me halfway? Leave me halfway. Can't sleep, hold my pillow tightly, hold my chest, I can't breathe. Did you notice it? Empty, yes, that's how you left me. Gave you all of me. Can I at least
Yeah.
Okay, so you can sing. Like that's what we're
Yeah.
going with, right? You can sing for real,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That ain't just the engineer. That's me too.
Right, for real. Yo, the thing is, it's like for those that didn't see the video, you got to go to YouTube and
Please do.
how could they find the video?
Please subscribe to my channel. That would be dope. Phoenixx Rocks. Phoenixx. And the way you remember my name is Phoenixx. Don't forget the second X. It's out of respect. Phoenixx Rocks. Go to my page. It's called Halfway, or you can just put Phoenixx Halfway, and it should definitely pop up.
Yeah, because I wanted, I watched it. I watched it several times actually, and
Appreciate you.
and the visuals, and then the vibe, and then I don't want to say that I'm comparing you to anybody, but there was this point where you vibing out, and I think you were sitting on the arm of the couch,
Mm-hmm.
and you vibing out. But it took me back to like a Mary J. Blige type situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh snap, okay. And then you got there's another point where there's a close up, and then you got the
Mm-hmm.
light overhead, and then you're just vocalizing in front of the camera, and it's like those visuals. If people that are in touch with their emotions and not afraid to like really feel when they listen to music, and then see the visuals, like you can just by watching it and just by listening to it, you can really feel what you're saying. Like,
I appreciate that.
and then you took his phone, like, yo, what, like, hello, I'm right here. It was good, like, hello, and
Right.
it was one of those things where there's millions of people that could relate to that. You're sitting there and you're craving their attention, and they're sitting there in their phone or doing whatever, or their mind is someplace else, and it's like, yo, what about us? Well, what about what we got going on right now? Like, yo, just
Right.
pay attention. And being in a relationship, it does take the focus of both people, and wanting to pay the next person attention and be there for them. It's like, if I'm willing to do this for you, why can't you do it for me? And I think,
Right. And I don't want to beg you for that either. I want you to want to.
right now, how does that work? Right? Yeah, you don't want to beg, but will you ask?
Right. And that's the balance of life. But talking about the video, I wanted to explain it a little bit. So it starts off with a guy in reverse.
Yes.
And then we move on to me. So basically what I wanted to do is I want to break a lot of my music. I want to break gender stereotypes. And I want women to see, I want men to see that we are willing to do what it takes if you're willing to do what it takes. And so the beginning shows a man going through that experience because it's not fair to him to have to deal with that situation. And then it shows me dealing with that situation because it's not fair to me either.
Right.
And so, we're in the same apartment, but it shows like you don't know what's going on behind closed doors with other people. You'll be surprised at how many people go through those same things. And a lot of times we're ashamed to talk about our situations or what we're experiencing because we think somebody's going to judge us. When if we opened up and we were talking about it, you'd be surprised at how many people feel the exact same way and don't have a way out, or they haven't built their self-esteem or their self-confidence enough to walk away and believe and understand that they're worth more than that and that they deserve more than that. And it took me a long time, like 8 years is a long time. But I really believed in what we had so much that I felt like, well, if I do enough, maybe this person will see, maybe it's a self-esteem thing. And maybe I need to just show them that they're worth it to me, until I realized this person was just manipulating me to get what he wanted. And he was never planning, he wasn't really ever going to plan on settling down, or maybe he just wasn't ready at that time and he thought he would be. Maybe a part of him did, you know what I mean? And I don't totally understand his psyche, but it could have been like maybe he felt, well, if I was that person, he could be that person, that something would change in him. So, but at the same token, I don't have to wait. If I'm willing to wait, that's on me. But I also can't be bitter if that's not what my outcome is for waiting. You know what I mean? So it's knowing when a person is hurting you, but also taking accountability for yourself. Because I chose to stay that long too. And that's a part of the narrative that a lot of times is uncomfortable to talk about. He took advantage, but I stayed and I allowed him to. So
Right. And I would say, and I definitely enjoy talking to you because when you speak, right, you speak from both sides of the spectrum. It's not one side. So it's, yeah, they did that, but they only did that because I kind of allowed it. So it's like, I can't be that bad. It's not all their fault. And
right.
and a lot of people don't even realize that or want to take accountability even while they're still in the relationship for the part that they played. And a lot of relationships end on a bitter note and continue to be bitter because people are not able to say, you know what, I had a part to play in what's going on then and what's going on now. And once you're able to do that, it's I don't think I've ever really truly been upset at someone that I was in a relationship with when it didn't work out. I'm like, it didn't work out. Well, maybe it wasn't supposed to happen that way. And you know what? I probably did some fucked up shit here and there. So you know what? If it went left, I get it. You know, and but at the same time, you shouldn't be mad at me either. If I'm not upset at you from what happened, I would expect you to at least give me the same courtesy and responses and the way we do things. And like you said earlier, it you being a Cancer and being emotional and stuff like that, you expect someone to not do something to you that you wouldn't do to them. And I'm a Pisces. I'm an emotional mess. I can fucking tell you that off Jump Street. And I have the same issue. It's like I wouldn't do it to you, so why are you doing it to me? I don't get it. I wouldn't do that. So what's the problem? And that video really depicts all of that. And it's showing it with just something as simple as a cell phone and passing it back and forth on the couch.
And that could blow up and be a thing, and y'all could end up breaking up over that.
Off of that.
And then it trigger an argument, and then all of these other things start coming out that nobody was expressing the entire time y'all was in a relationship. Oh, remember that time I text you and it took you like 2 hours to text back? Like, I felt like you was with your ex, and you be like, what? I came home, we chill, we watched the movie. You didn't even say nothing that night. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really, and it'd be something so small as like that particular day, you just being on your cell phone too long ticked me off. And I said something to you and you wasn't in the mood that day. And that triggered a whole blow up. And now you're packing your bags. You know what I'm saying? Like it really be something. A lot of times, even when you look back at all of your breakups, you probably stayed for the most dramatic crap. And then something so small broke it up. Like, you know what? I'm out of here. And the person's looking at you like, what? But I did something small, but they don't know it's a whole pile up of things in your head that you've been sitting there tallying up, that you've been trying to get over, thinking that you forgot about it or you put it behind you because you didn't think about it. But it was right there on the tip of your tongue as soon as y'all got in an argument. It'd be crazy like that.
So how do you think, what is your advice when it comes to, being in a relationship and being able to combat something like that from happening?
I think I keep saying these two things. And one of these things I got from, I can't remember his name right now, and I hate that because I like to give people credit. But there's a guy that's on Instagram, and he talks about something called your core values. I think it has to do with your core values and your love language. And love language meaning, like me, I like to cook. I like to clean. I have a very old fashioned kind of love. I grew up, around my grandmother, certain things. I seen her carry herself a certain way with my grandfather, things like that. But if you're a guy whose mother took you on outings and cooked fast food and wasn't as neat, maybe she wasn't like super dirty, but she wasn't as clean, you may not value those things. So I could be thinking that I'm showing you love, and love to you could be affection, and I not be affectionate with you enough for your liking, and you feel neglected. And the whole time I'm like, but I'm cooking and I'm cleaning, and your clothes is done and your clothes is clean, and and you're like, yeah, that's cool, but you didn't even give me a hug when I came in from work today. You didn't kiss me on my cheek when I left for work in the morning, and you feel neglected the whole time. And I'm not, and I not be cognizant of that because I didn't ask you what your love language is. And then core values to me is like, you grew up Muslim and I grew up Christian, and to you it's very important that your kids know the Muslim faith. Now, if I choose to be with you, I have to be willing to compromise on that if I want to have children with you. That's a core value. If I don't agree with that, our relationship is going to end up being doomed, because once I have kids and I take them to church, you're going to feel away. So, you know what I mean? Between love languages and core values, if those two things is not in alignment, or y'all can't come to a compromise, which here we come back to halfway, then it's going to be turmoil, and everything else could be right, and that one thing be wrong, and that be the demise of your relationship.
Wow. Now, you know, speaking, I can say I definitely enjoy speaking to you. And I know singing is not the only thing you do.
Yeah, I spit a couple of hot bars every now and then. Every now and then. I be on. It's really on some it's really poetry in motion. Honestly, like it's flowy enough that it ain't a poem, but it's vibey enough that it is. You know, it's
So you
somewhere in
got
between.
listeners?
Yeah.
I think you do. What you got for us?
If you want to go to my SoundCloud real quick, I got something up there I just did to Jay Dilla. That's pretty dope. But I'm gonna tell you to listen to Rise because everybody loves Rise. I did I took a knife one to beat and I did my thing on it. It's on SoundCloud. Phoenixx Rocks. Everything is Phoenixx Rocks, y'all. Phoenixx Rocks. How you been though? How you been? What's going on with you?
Oh, the pandemic and everything that's going on. It as you see, not at the studio.
Right. It's a nice little setup though. That's sexy back there. Your on air sign. I see you. You doing pretty well though for the lock in for the show. If I had to be shut down, I wouldn't be mad at that setup.
The crazy part is that had to adjust real quick, and that's something that I learned. And being who I am, you got to learn to adjust and roll with the punches.
That's a fact.
And the studio, everybody, the 6 feet apart, the mask and people wearing masks, but then you wouldn't even hear anybody because everybody's muffled behind the mask, and then everybody being sick. So, like with all that, I had to make an executive decision and close the studio for the rest of 2020. So there won't be nobody coming together in a room until they figure this shit out, because I don't want nobody getting sick, and I don't want.
And you don't need to get sick. That's a fact.
So,
did you find me?
I'm looking right now.
So it should be a picture of me, like ding.
Hold up.
Phoenixx Rocks, Phoenixx, because sometimes people put the E before the O. Well, yeah, it's a pretty dope adjustment, and we're gonna make it through this. We gotta strategize and move smart and not be fast and rushing to be on a scene and be mixy. That's all.
Yo, and that's the crazy part. Because
it's hard, especially for me. Like I had just started freelancing, curating my own events. Like I was on the road. You feel me? I was like, Dad, Corona, jam me.
Yo, and it's crazy because it really did change a lot. Like, with being in Williams, Greenpoint, Brooklyn, actually, we were always focused on getting local artists.
Right.
With the Corona, I've interviewed DJs in Berlin.
That's lit though.
Sweden.
Shout out to Sweden. I got a couple fans out there.
Yeah. So what we got? I got. I'm on.
Go to Rise. You're gonna like Rise.
All right, because there's this whole Brooklyn with this picture.
I did the Soul Brooklyn challenge. I did. I ain't really promoted. That's why the numbers ain't high. Because I did it for me. Like I be on. I'm really on some artists, like old school artist tip, like where I do things if it make me feel good, and then I have other things I do for the numbers, and they get their numbers if I'm on it like that. But the Soul Brooklyn, I'm just from Brooklyn. Like I didn't even wait for I didn't even post the challenge. I just did it. Like if you want to hear these bars, you'll press play, kind of vibe. Okay. But hit up Rise first. You can hear the Soul Brooklyn, but hit up Rise first. I got a lot of love for Rise.
All right, I'm gonna play.
I was trying to get it to Ninth Wonder, but I haven't gotten it to him yet. I've been trying to hit him up. I be all in his lives and everything, like yo, because I like to give people blessings. Like I'm not a thief. You feel me? I borrowed it, but I'm not a thief.
Yeah. All right, so I'm gonna play this Rise. Here we go.
It's Phoenixx. Take a walk with me. Yeah. They waiting to see if I'ma really win. They blind cause it's evident. Divine in the feminine. Sublime with the elegance. Every day that I wake up, I'm
I'm up and getting it. No time to be kicking it. No time, less is business, cause I'm busy doing other things. Speak up, man, you're mumbling. If you ain't serious about the bag, then why you trouble me? Way too focused on my goals from the floor to the ceiling. Why would you even waste my time? Can you tell me the meaning? Try to meditate, it's hard maintaining the balance. Patience tested on the red, I'm avoiding the Allen. Not Jamaica, I'm speaking of, I mean the correction. Facilities, see, they try to prevent my progression. But I'm protected by God, He maps out my direction. We always speaking, it's our thing, we do the daily checking. They try to dumb me down, don't know how, too small for that. Plus, I can't fake it, way too real, don't have the heart for that. Me, what I say, and that one thing sets me apart from that. Other riffraff, too bad, they run it back. They got you gas, but over here ain't none of that. I give props when it's due, but I don't owe you that. Don't let no one get in your head, no one can hold you back. Liberated, living free, the past is in the past. Elevated, now I'm seeing clearer to my path. Already read the book, so now I'll let you do the math. I'll let you do the math. So now I'll let you do the math. You can add it up. This year's for the level up, no turning back. I'm bringing the kerosene, who got the match? Like the stage on fire, that's what Phoenixx does. Then I rise to the head to receive the love. I'm dope with the shape, but no, I don't need a plug. I'm locked into the socket, it's from up above. Wordsmith and her curves, they brick house. Word shit, I'm above this peace out. You about to get me started, bring the beast out. They thought I'd be the one that they could keep out. Never that, yo, it's my time. Big Ben, try to deny me, but you can't deny this. No, you can't deny this. Come on now. And I say that in the most humble way. Now the Phoenixx will rise up. We'll rise up. We'll rise up. Now the Phoenixx will rise up. We'll rise up. We'll
So that's right.
Okay. So I like the way you switched it up at the end.
Yeah, that's my thing. I got a little signature thing I've been doing as far as my hip hop stuff. I do two verses. I let the verses breathe, and then I end it off with a hook. Like, I can sing, not forget.
Yeah, and I think that as you said, you have a signature, right? People know what to look for, right?
Right.
You are you. You do what you do. People know if they listen to you, they gonna hear what they hear, and if they rock with you, they're gonna rock with you regardless, and they're gonna be looking for it, and they'll be like, and you know what? If you ever switch up, they're gonna be the first ones to call you on it too.
Right.
They go like,
I was just saying that because I'm not gonna lie. I got like a drill trappish kind of song. Well, not drill, but like a trappish kind of song that I did that I secretly dropped. And I'm like, yo, I was talking to the person that co-wrote it with me. And he was like, yo, when you gonna push the record? And I'm like, I do want to push it, but I don't want to get no flack from people that like my sound. Like, oh, you want some da 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 da, like, but you trying to, because that's not what it is. It's just another side of my personality. And that's the thing that I'm trying not to do right now that's kind of difficult, is that I don't feel like people pigeonhole me, but I do think they appreciate a certain sound from me, if you know what I mean without saying it.
yeah,
That vibey, soulful kind of energy. And I love that. But that is not all that there is to me. And I do have, me being a songwriter, like my history as a songwriter, I wrote all genres. I wrote whoever was looking. You feel me? If Chris Brown was looking, it was Chris Brown. Sierra was looking, it was Sierra. If it was like whoever was looking, it wasn't this thing where I was just targeting hip hop artists or vibey artists or soul artists or R&B artists. That is, that's just kind of what certain people like by me. But I know when I'm given the space and the opportunity to release some different kind of stuff, there's going to be an audience for that too. Because there are people who really like the rapper version of me. And then there are people who love the singer. And people who love the singer, they're starting to acclimate to the rapper. And people who like the rapper, when I put the hook in there, they appreciate the hook for being there. So, it's just kind of marrying and melting those into a melting pot together. But I'm not gonna force the vibe either. If you like the soulful stuff and that's what you go for me, then when I put that stuff out, support. You know what I'm saying? And if I put something out that's not for you, I'm okay with that too, because that's for somebody else. And so that's really where I'm at, because I know I'm a chameleon and I'm a shapeshifter. So it's gonna be something for everybody.
Yeah, I could definitely say both sides of it definitely vibe with. And
appreciate that.
And it's like, I think when you're truly an artist, you're able to do that. It doesn't matter what you do. Like you said, the trap drill joint that you secretly release and you're not.
Yeah, it's called No Talking. And it really, all it is like I'm cursing a little bit in the record, and I know it's gonna be those people like, she's cursing. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm in my mid-30s, like I'm grown. You feel me? Like I'm not a kid. You know what I'm saying? But I also understand that they look to me for a certain energy, and it's like, yeah, I get that. But I want to, Phoenixx turns up too. Believe it or not, the same girl that can, have the really dope intellectual conversations. I know how to turn up. When we're in the middle of a party, we're not having a deep conversation. We're turning up. You know what I'm saying? We hitting them with the folks. So, there's gonna be that side to me as well. People will see that eventually. She'll come out to play.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, because I need to get into this. So Brooklyn.
All right, yeah. I got some bars on that. You gonna appreciate that. Are you from Brooklyn?
No.
Okay.
I'm from Spanish Harlem.
Okay, but I feel like you've been around, because like I'm old school, so some of my references is gonna be, I'm an 80s baby. It's gonna be 80s baby references. So that's the only reason I was asking that. But you knew what it was. Like
I know what it is and everything. So all the crazy part is that when I was growing up, it's weird. I wasn't a Brooklyn type person like back then, and you could probably remember when you was from Harlem, you stood in Harlem. You was from the Bronx, you stood in the Bronx. Brooklyn was like, nah, we ain't going to Brooklyn. They different in Brooklyn. Like
it's true, because I used to chill in Spanish Harlem. Oh my God. Hello, I'm sorry.
Yeah, we're here.
No, it's funny because when I was in high school, I chilled in Spanish Harlem a lot. And a lot of the dudes in Harlem, when they used to try to talk to me and stuff like that, they used to be like, yo, shorty, where you from? And I used to be like, Brooklyn. They used to be like, nah, you not from Brooklyn. And they used to be dissing, Brooklyn girls on some like, because my swag, I used to know how to dress. So they used to be like, nah, shorty, you not from Brooklyn. Like, your swag is wild different. Like, you be wearing certain sneakers and certain, like, your swag. And I should be like, yes, I am. Like, not all Brooklyn girls is bums. Like, please stop saying that. Like, I should get so tight. Like, please stop saying that. We are all not bums. Like, I live in Brooklyn. I just chill in Harlem. I had a best friend that lived in the projects on 108th and Park. So I used to be out there.
Carver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Trust and believe. Anywhere on the east side, Spanish Harlem, Jefferson Johnson, Wagner, Taft, all that. I'm all up and down all those places. So, like, it's crazy that you say it, but we're gonna get into this Brooklyn. So
yeah, get into it. I did one verse. I dropped one verse.
I know what the beat is, right?
Right.
So it's like I want to hear you on that beat. Like,
right.
I just
Savage mode.
Yeah. So let's get into that. So Brooklyn, Phoenixx. Here we go.
Bang bang.
Anything for the Brooklyn, I gotta be there. You already know. Brooklyn to this tough. Phoenixx. Go. So Brooklyn, I done been in every project. Never scared, I was there, yo, I was wildin'. In the staircase, bro, curfew freestyling. 4th Street, I want halal, fish in the pocket. Independent from young, I got my own Timbs. Catching licks as a chick, that's not a hood myth. So Brooklyn always hung with the OGs. Wasn't blood, but they knew me. Suwu to all the homies. So Brooklyn, Coney Island on Easter. As February came, you was plotting on a sneaker. Couldn't cop a Jordan, Uptown was your best bet. And don't get lost, where I'm from, you might get checked. Brooklyn, keep taking it, we get y'all the best bets. It's gentrified now, man, they used to care less. We got the Barclays now, someone spent a fact check. And everything's changing, I'm so scared to see what's next. Think I'm from the borough that's most misunderstood. They give us fake props, they wanna call us hood. We to this, to that, but this sauce make head snapping. These guns, they do clap, this lights out, it's a wrap.
Yeah, I did one verse.
Yo,
I had to give mine off on that.
but what you said, yo, everything you said was valid though.
It's
Right.
Yeah, it was valid. Definitely valid. Definitely valid.
Oh yeah, that's kind of dope too. That's the Jay Dilla track.
We're gonna play that in a little bit because we got a few minutes.
Okay.
So we're gonna play that before we head out. But
All right.
But yeah, everything you said was valid. Like everything. Like, sir, you never get lost in Brooklyn, bro. Because they gonna be like, yo, where you from? That's it. Yo, you in trouble. Like,
you live over here?
Yo.
Shit, some real reckless. Like, yo, you from here? You from around here?
Yo.
You already know you about to get robbed. Like, what you mean? Why you asking me that?
Yeah, like you know, in my recent years, me being an adult now, I moved a little different. I move different now than I did when I was younger. So me being out in Brooklyn, I moved out to Flatbush, East Flat, for a little bit over by the college. And you know, I really stuck out like a sore thumb. Like real talk. Like I really, really did. I did. With people looking at me and all that, and I'm looking at them like, yo, you know what? I'm valid wherever I go. So if y'all want whatever happens here, we can do this.
Right.
But just know, I know I'm in Brooklyn too. Like I'm not stupid. Like
right. Like listen, yeah. Like I know where I'm at.
Yeah. There's 12 buildings with all your homies in it. Like, and it's only one me.
Right.
Like I'm gonna take one of y'all down. I might not make it till tomorrow, but I'm gonna get one. And just Fulton Street, the gentrification, the Barclays Center, like
that's when it happened.
Growing up in Brooklyn, I don't even know. Like me growing up in Harlem, 125 changed so quick that it was like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
Like this video online of a white woman pushing a stroller. Oh no, I don't know if she's pushing a stroller, but she walked Harlem for 10 hours with basically a camera crew walking through Harlem and then get robbed. You know that if you pulled out your phone in Harlem back in the late 80s, early 90s,
snatchies.
That's it. So that's how you.
What phone?
Like, huh? What are you talking about? It's gone. So it's one of those things. The over there, downtown Brooklyn, Flatbush Extension, Fulton, all that stuff. I don't even.
Right.
I don't.
So totally different place.
Yeah, and it's wild, crazy, and I don't even know. I'm not from there, but I don't know how you feel about that. Like,
I have mixed feelings because there's two sides to it. There are people who make you feel like you moved there and they've been there. And then I've had some positive experiences where people embrace the fact that they're new and they want you to feel respected. You know what I mean? So it's and it's interesting to say that, especially amongst this time where Black Lives Matter movement is happening. I have met a few allies. I have met a few allies. Now, can I vouch for them at the end of the day and say they down for the cause? No, I can't. But in my transactions leading up to the things that have taken place, these people have, respected and valued me in my community. And I didn't feel like they were trying to push me out and flush me out of where I live. But initially, when it first happened, it was very uncomfortable. It was like, you open a coffee shop in my neighborhood, and then when I walk in, you're looking at me like, why do I want a cup of coffee? You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean, bro? Like, I've walked this block my whole life. I know when you moved here. You know what I'm saying? Like don't do that. But then, like I said on the flip, it's a lot of people in my community. Like, it was interesting too. Right before Corona, I was walking down the street one day, and literally Black and white people were saying hello to me, and I was like, wow, it was really surreal for a moment that like white, and then there was a couple of Hispanic people too, but like just being acknowledged by all different people and all different cultures was very like surreal walking through Crown Heights, Brooklyn. to see that and experience that. But yeah, you have people that, you have the Karens, and then you have, the Jessicas. You know what I mean? That's chill. And they don't want to get in nobody's way. They're just trying to get home and go to work or do whatever they gotta do, and they'll say hello. And maybe they're not your best friends, but they also not calling the cops on you when you play your music at night. So,
Right. Like you got to understand where you are, and remember that you came into the situation. We didn't come
right,
into the situation. I'm not. I wasn't the one who charged you $6,000 a month for rent for a 1-bedroom apartment. Don't sit
right,
try and tell me I got to turn my music down. That motherfucker should have soundproofed the apartment. like,
right.
like that's what it is. And I think the craziest thing, and I noticed it. I'm someone that pays attention to my surroundings, very heavy, and
Right.
and the white community are very very nervous right now. So nervous they don't even know what to do. Like there were times that if I was walking towards a white person or they was riding their bike, they would expect me to stop. Like it was crazy. Like I'm walking, you doing whatever, and you gonna either run me down or do whatever you do. Now they looking at me like, okay, sir, you could go first. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It feels different.
Yeah,
And
they shook. They shook.
it happened to me yesterday. And I'm looking at the guy on the bike, and I'm like, dag, I was like midtown Manhattan, and then a couple of years ago, or even just a couple of months ago, the situation would have went way different than what it went. And he would have been like, like ignored me, like I didn't even exist. Like I'm a big guy. You can't fucking miss me. When people act like they don't see me, it's a problem. So it's just to even see, but the look on his face was like, please don't even look at me. I'm
I
sorry.
don't want no problem. They like, I don't want no smoke.
No smoke. But the thing is, like I need our people to really understand that we could have put an end to a lot of the stuff that's going on right now if we would have stuck together years ago. But there's so much division because we pay attention to the propaganda and everything that they put out that we don't even understand what to do, and then they play us against each other
Mm-hmm.
because it's very very easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to be like black and brown people, but to me, yo, when we fill out those documents, it's black or white, and then they ask what your ethnicity is. So basically, they're asking you basically what type of culture do you kind of gravitate to. But
Right.
yeah, but you're only on this side of the spectrum or that side of the spectrum. There is no in between because when they classify minorities, they classify the Chinese, they classify everything that's not white
Right.
on that side. Where we have never been the minority, we always been the majority in numbers. But then they break us up into subcategories, and then they put us against each other, and that's why we could never rise up. And what people are so afraid of is right now, when you're looking at the protests, this is not something that we've seen 30, 40, 50, 100 years ago.
Right.
People of every color marching together, and that's what they're afraid of.
Big facts. It
Like,
definitely
crazy.
that scares them. It not only scares them, it intimidates them. And when
Right.
people are intimidated, they start acting real like weird. Like, ooh,
Super
it's
weird.
scary. Ooh, you're
Yeah,
not gonna hit me, are you? It's like, no, I raised my hand to scratch my back. What is wrong with you? You know what I mean? Like
I
they
see
become nervous.
of a woman that called, like I don't know if you've seen it, but Instagram. There's all this stuff that
When
pops.
she cut the guy off,
Cut the guy off, and then she's trying to hide her license plate, and she's screaming, and she's like, "You're harassing me," and all that, and she's just like, it's like she had a nervous breakdown.
and the lady came out and she's looking like, Miss, this he's not even by you. Like she's looking at her like you're dumb.
Yeah,
Like, Miss, he's not even by you. Like, why are you? You know what I mean? Like, And I think it really even culture shock for other white people to see white people act like that. Like, is that really how we are?
And it happens so much. And when you sit there and people talk about it, you're like, nah, you're over exaggerating. But it's like right now with the cops wearing body cams with the shit that they doing, and then everybody having something that they can record. Like I have a thing. I have a little bit of an issue when shit really be going down. Like all people do is pull out their phone.
Yeah, I hate that. I saw a fire like that one time, and I saw people take out their cameras while a building was burning, and I was just like, really, what mentally could be going through your mind if you're not the news that you would want to record in your phone people losing their homes or possibly their lives? Like, why would that be something you want to capture?
Right.
Like on a personal level.
Right. Did you call 911 first? Like that's what you did before you pulled.
Are you praying for the families? Are you are you rich and positive on that people survive and they come out of this? Why are you doing that? Like, where's your head at right now?
Yeah, it's
people bugged out.
It's crazy because with the way you say you were 80s baby, I was just like a day of not a day shy. I was a year shy of being an 80s baby. I was born in 79. And like with the birth of social media, the internet and everything else, like we were kind of in the mix of what's going on. But right now, everybody has been desensitized to what they see because they see it so much.
Yeah.
It comes out so much, and it's like, oh, we just saw a black man die. We done saw a building burn down. We just saw somebody get shot. We did this, that, and the third, and we could see it all over the world. But when we was growing up, it wasn't that. Everything was hidden. I don't think any side of the black and white perspective really can understand the effect of the internet. Well, we try to progress so much, but now we put everything on Front Street. And like Will Smith said, racism hasn't gotten worse. It's basically that it's televised now. Like we're able to put it, people can see it. This has been going on for ages. I don't know if you are aware of what happened to the South African pregnant woman in Florida.
No, what happened?
She was stabbed 6 times in the chest and hung from a tree, and she was pregnant.
Oh my God.
Right. And in California, we had 2 black men that were lynched, hung from trees in different locations in California. But you don't even hear that on the news. It's like we talk about it a little bit. Sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle.
Yeah, like pepper.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, oh we gonna talk
a dash.
Right. And it's the craziest thing. And I definitely want to do this with you again.
Yeah, let's link.
Oh, yo, like you my homie. We're gonna do this. We definitely gonna chop it up. We could probably talk for 2 hours, just me and you.
Just keep going, yeah.
Yeah.
Various subjects.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I want you to tell everybody how they can follow you.
Yes.
How they can watch your video, the release video, where they can find your music. And anything else you want to tell them, anything else you got going on, website and all that. Just basically,
I'm actually gonna work on a website. I'm moving pretty soon, so I'm in transition, but the website will be coming soon. I want you guys to go to my YouTube channel, Phoenixx Rocks. I would love for you guys to stop by. I have a lot of things going on my channel. I have over 20-something videos. I have a docu-series called Bamboo. Halfway is out now. You can find it. It's out on streaming services as well, iTunes, Spotify, etc. Deezer, a bunch of different things. I think it's also on like Shazam as well. I did the whole kit and caboodles. You can follow me on Instagram at YesTasPhoenixx, YesThatS Phoenixx. I'm there too. I'm on Twitter as Phoenixx Rocks. I'm on Facebook, Phoenixx Rocks as well for all of those who are on Facebook. You come stop by my page as well. I put a lot of little exclusive stuff up there for the people who are subscribed to my music page. Come hit me up, check me out. I'm on a web series called Eight at the Table. I'm on another one for the Love of Boot. Got a bunch of stuff. Enough stuff to do for you to stay in quarantine so you don't go out there and get that second wheel, y'all. Stay indoors and stay safe.
Yeah. Yo, make sure you send me the links.
Got you.
Music you got going on to all the stuff you just spoke about.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want to make sure that we have you featured on the website. All right.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely. And we definitely going to stay in touch.
Of course.
I'm gonna send you. Well, you got the email address to reach us, but I'm gonna send my direct so this way you could text me or whatever whenever you got something going on, so we can support.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for having me, y'all.
All right.
Thank you.
So much love, and I'm gonna send you the link to the show later.
Please, thank you. All right, talk to you soon. Be good. Be well. Later.
Yeah. So you already know what it is. It's your boy Prophet Pete, and we here WEMS Radio, and we got a situation going on from California. Wow. Oh, there's two of y'all. I didn't know y'all was gonna be in the same room. Like I thought we was gonna get some situation going on where we had one over here, one over there, and all that stuff. Like I know you ladies are a duo. I was about to say guys, that would have been all wrong. Definitely all wrong. But you ladies are there together, a duo. Mm-hmm. Now, your Instagram says she Cantale, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If I'm not mistaken. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Who the hell knows? I'm from New York, so it might sound different to you ladies. I don't know. Because you're not from here. Right? Where you from?
We're from California.
California, like that's a whole other world over there. We can't even say like that's just, like you like. There's still sun out there right now.
Oh yeah, it's still hot. Very hot right now.
It's pitch black outside here.
Really?
Yes, pitch black. Like it's next time people going to sleep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We still got about an hour or so or something. Of sunlight.
We do.
Yeah. So being from California and making music and doing what you do, what is your inspiration to keep on going, especially with the COVID-19 situation? Actually, you guys are in that escalation list when they show the news reports of the cases going up and everything else.
Yeah, we are.
Like we got hit first. Like we closer to China than you guys.
Yeah, right.
And we was just in New York. It was like they just said you can't go outside no more. Don't even go to work.
Right.
That's it. How was it for you being able to create your music and put stuff out as you're doing it?
Well, I would say that because we're family, we're blood cousins, so it's like it's still, sharing the same, being in the same households at a lot of the times with each other. So, so we have that trusted area, and we, of course, we share the same faith and everything. A lot of artists probably could agree that times of suffering is a time where you can be pretty much the most artistic, in my opinion. So it's like, it really just was like giving you that time to think, it's kind of like incubate your thoughts and things like that, and just choosing to take advantage of it and turn it something like, even though there's a lot of things that are controlled that we can't change, but what we do have with our gifts, we have our gifts, so we can do, what we could do with our gifts in spite of all that,
Yeah, and also being away from work, like I wasn't working at all, so I was able to just kind of be home and write. We write all our own music, so that gave us a lot of time to think of new material and just kind of get our mindsets in the right place. So it's COVID-19 has been good to us,
I was saying, and you saying that with COVID-19 being good to you, and you said faith. There was something that you said when you were like, we have the same faith and trust and everything else. being able to identify those things, just
Mhm.
that your mindset is in a different place than a lot of other individuals, and looking at the positive and being able to pick out what's going on, although there's a lot of death and everything else. If we refer to many instances and stories in the Bible
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
nature, we've had plagues, we've had this, but
Yeah.
what has gotten us through, people that do believe and have faith,
Mhm.
are
Yeah.
able to get from this point to the next point because they truly believe that
Yeah.
them believing in a higher power, and
Yeah.
Right.
and being able to say, I am going to get through this regardless
Mm-hmm.
of what, because I do believe.
Yeah.
It gets you through a lot of things, and I think that's
Right.
wonderful just from you saying it. And I just wanted to highlight that a little bit, because a lot of people kind of shy away from that when it comes to faith and religion and spirituality.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because nothing has really, I mean, as far as death is concerned, nothing has changed. We still don't know when. Just the urgency has changed. So it's like, people are panicking and getting paranoid where they could be cautious, but there's a difference between caution and paranoia. You should always be cautious. So it's just like when this happened, if anything, it should be a reminder to just get your self in order, like, put your perspective. But the whole factor about dying hasn't changed. You still never knew that before, and you don't know it now.
Yeah.
So you can't walk around with that on you like that and let it stop you to that sense. You just need to be cautious and mindful.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you believe in the Lord, it's always one of those things where it's like we were born. Our story is not our own, right?
Right.
We are
Mm-hmm.
we are given the ability to choose, right? That's one of the things. But we have choices. We could go left, we could go right.
Right.
But
Right.
at the end of the day, our story is practically written. So
Right.
it's just, are we going to fulfill this side of the story that we need, that
Right.
was written for us, or are we going to end up burning in hell for eternity? Like that's
Right.
one of those things. And,
Yeah.
and
You're
Mm-hmm.
trying to do that.
like it's just one of those things. So that's what you want to take advantage of, and unless you work towards it, just because, hey, this is the way my story was written, doesn't mean that I can just sit there and that's where I'm gonna end up. Like I have to work towards it. I have to,
Right.
show my gift and take advantage of what was given to me, because
Right.
it it's considered a sin, from what I
Yeah.
understand, to not
Yeah.
utilize your gift.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
That is a problem. That is definitely a
Mhm.
Yeah.
problem. And I just think that it's wonderful that you ladies are still moving forward with what you're doing, regardless of what's happening. We have an expiration date. We never knew when we was gonna go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Never did.
But what are we going to do from today till tomorrow? It makes a difference.
Right.
Very true.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, just because you're in California doesn't mean I don't understand.
You understand it's way out there.
Like, I hear your accent, with
Mhm.
you're probably like, you got some weird accent going on over there. I don't know. To me, I sound normal. And
Yeah.
Yeah, no, you don't. You definitely have an accent, but we're kind of familiar with it because we hear it on TV. So you sound like they show it on TV. So
Yeah.
you sound like
You
that.
know.
loving hip hop.
Uh-huh.
All right, so you definitely understand me. So it works out great.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna do is I wanna get into one of your tracks real quick.
Mhm.
Here we go. What we got? We got two tracks from you, which is Thing for You, and then there's another one. Hold up. Come with it too, right?
Come with it.
Come with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Come with it. I don't know why the two's on there, but I guess it must have, whatever. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even.
Right.
So what I would appreciate you both to do for me is we're going to play the Thing for You track,
Okay.
Okay.
but I want you ladies to be able to introduce it, the way you would do it, the way you would
Okay.
introduce your track.
Okay, you ready?
Yo,
You ready?
this is what it is. This is about to go down. Like if this was the BT Awards, like, whatever you got going on. That's and tell them where they can find your music, who you are, and the track, and it will be wonderful. Because just know that we're streaming live in over 48 countries around the
Awesome.
world.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like this is not a
Intro?
game. This is serious. Some real
Yeah.
stuff. Right. I hope I'm a big guy, but stuff that I do, it holds a lot of weight. So I'm just
Yeah.
because that's what it is. So go ahead, ladies.
Okay. Well, this track is "Thing for You." This is actually our title song of the for the album. Single because the album's called "Thing for You." It's the first song that we recorded for our album. Kind of had it was our first little actual official song together that we collaborated and worked with and decided to pursue doing the duo thing. It was just a real fun song. It was kind of like just written really really quick. We got to work with a really great guy, L Fingers, that's from out here. He produced the record for us. Like he made it while he was in the building, and then I don't know if it was the next day or a couple of days.
Yeah.
After that, she wrote her verse. I was procrastinating. I wrote mine in the parking lot. We just went in there and we wrote it in. It's a real sexy joint, and it's part of the album, but it's on Spotify, Pandora, iTunes. What else is it on?
On YouTube. It's pretty much
YouTube.
streaming everywhere.
Yeah. We're trying to get it on Sirius Radio, so we need support for that so we can get that, but pretty much on a major platform.
All right. So here we go, y'all. We're about to get into this track for the ladies. Here we go.
Boy, you know you got a thing for you. And you know I got a thing for you. Boy, you know you got a thing for you. And you know I got a thing for you.
Boy, you must be tired. You keep running through my mind. Swear you got that fire, and I need it all the time. You got something I like. Let your body be my bike. Got me wanting you so bad, honey. Please come tonight. I want it. I need it. I love it. Come get it. But I'm not just anybody. I'm not just anybody. Ooh, boy. Don't go telling nobody. Cause today, and you're swinging my way. You know I care for you, but can you make me fall in love?
Boy, you know you got a thing for you. And you know I got a thing for you. Boy, you know you got a thing for you. And you know I got a thing for you. You sitting there wondering why I'm tripping. can sip the tea. I want you all up in my business. I want you all up in my business. Ooh, I love it when you kiss this. It's so good, I need to end this. But then again, I love it when you end this. I changed my mind. Boy, what's next? Flex. Time to have sex. Ain't gonna call you up. Ain't gonna call your phone. When times get hard, you wanna call me on your own. I'm on me. I'll see you there. I stay ready. Gotta get ready. I'm already and you know I got a thing for you. Boy, you know you got a thing for you. And you know I got a thing for
He was so good though with the guitar.
I definitely love instruments that are played.
Yeah, he
Oh,
really played that there live.
Yeah.
Did that there, yeah.
really?
Yeah, it was a guitarist who came and did that. Yeah.
Wow.
It
Like,
was awesome.
you know, I definitely appreciate like live instrumentation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing like it. There's definitely not like it. And there's a question that I had for the both of you. And with the way the industry has gone over the years, you don't see too many duos. You don't see too many groups.
Mhm.
So what made you say, hey, this is what we're going to do together?
And it started a long time ago. Like she said earlier, we're blood cousins. So Tanisha used to always write poetry a long time ago. And then she's like, Selena, you should, try to write a song. And I'm like, oh, I guess I'll try it. This was years ago, like 16 or 15. And then ever since then, it's just like we were writing music to no beats at all, just making music, making songs. And it was always our passion. We just didn't know how to pursue it. We didn't know how to pursue it, and we prayed a lot and asked God to open some doors for us. And then, a door opened kind of through Kanisha, and I got to come along for the ride. A door opened for her with our producer and manager. His name is Big Raj with Floss City Productions. And ever since then, we've been able to like continue making music and keep going. I think we plan on stopping. That's how, yeah.
So how many songs would you say you like have in the bank? Like just
That's a hard one. Because sometimes I be thinking that I might have ran through all of them, and then you be like, because I got journals everywhere around my house, so it's like I pick them up sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, So it's a lot,
Yeah.
It's and some of the stuff like it's not even things that we're going to probably anymore like that, but it's just interesting to see the growth too. And then sometimes it's an inspiration, like you're like, oh, okay, that's a thought process to get you going and stuff like that. So because we have to have, I know specifically, like I know like personally, I probably if I picked up 2 of my little notebooks or something, it got to be like 100 or something. You know what I mean? It's like because it's just so much written. I just
sometimes we're able to use some of the songs that we wrote without music. Like a song on the album is called "Start Over." That was like I wrote that hook without any music at all, and then we heard the beat and we couldn't think of what to write to it. And Kanisha's like, maybe we should use that "Start Over" verse that was there. But sometimes we're able to pull them, and sometimes we're not. But we write all the time, and anytime we hear a beat, we just have a really good vibe together. That's, we didn't just do it on purpose. It just happened naturally that every time we get together, we hear a beat together, we can always come up with something together. Yeah.
Okay, so have you guys ever thought about doing some gospel music?
I actually have. Yeah, I have. I have some gospel songs with some like local rap artists here, and that's our base. So it's definitely our base, and you know we don't forget about that. It's just that right now, you know, I got a lot of stuff to talk about that's happening that I got to get out, you know. But we have thought about it. I try to just keep it. We try to keep it as positive as possible, you know, because we do have people, you know, that little younger people who look up to us and things like that in our life. So we talk about real things that are happening and ways to either get out of that situation or keep it positive and keep it moving if situations don't work out and things like that.
Yeah. The only reason why I asked that is because I know that your roots, a lot of your roots, go back, and
they do.
So if you didn't, it'd be okay. But I just think that a lot of times being an artist, especially in this day and age, you have to be versatile, and you might have to. Not that you might have to, but I think that it's okay to chase what makes you feel good, or where your roots came from, and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do a gospel song today. Put it out because it doesn't cost as much to put out music anymore as it did a few years back. And you can play around with it. And gain a whole new audience that will follow everything that you're saying or everything because they believe in your artistry in itself, which is great. So and I kind of don't want to go this way, but I'm gonna ask it anyway. With everything that's going on with police brutality and everything else with George Floyd and individuals that have been, you know, murdered or however people want to classify it, how is it that you ladies take these situations?
It's just very, very close to home, it seems. You know, it doesn't, sometimes, like, I'm a person who doesn't like to be like watching the news type of thing. Like, I really am not like into that. But I am a very passionate, compassionate person and stuff like that. And it's just, I'm a people person. I love people, and I don't like seeing people hurt. Period. You know, and to know that, you know, just growing up and stuff, we all had those moments just being Black people. Period. Like, you know, it's always been present. It's just so hurtful that it's so loud. You know, because you know there's people out there that don't like this or don't like that, but it's like when you start getting to the point where you're taking people's lives and, you know, people are subject to whatever your opinion is. If you want to be racist or that, and you know, you could be racist in your heart, but you still can control your behavior too. You know, it goes beyond like being inhumane. You know, it's like it's very sad. And I have 2 sons, and I'm just like, it's very real that I have to have those conversations with them. It's very real that I have to say, I don't want them walking to the store right now, and just making me feel completely under a microscope in a way. You know, it's very hurtful. I understand that the suffering and stuff. I feel like the shift though right now is really powerful. Like, you know, like all this is hard to take in, but I've never seen it in such a strength like how it is right now. So I feel like the deaths are something that we can't even, you know, fathom, and they're so terrible. Like, but to make everything not in vain, like, you know, what I'm seeing right now is like an incredible thing. You know, it always been that thing, like we talk amongst each other or maybe go to a little thing. I've been on some marches, stuff like that, but right now feels more authentic. It feels way like, oh no, because you're hearing these corporations, whether they faking it or not, or fronting or not, it's the fact that they feel like they need to respond to us. Because it's coming out, our value is coming out. Because whether it's a facade or whatever it is, when it comes behind value and all that, you're gonna have to recognize that we got value. And so all these people coming out, I'm getting messages from Sears and DoorDash and You know what I'm saying?
with you.
We stand with you. You know, all these people, you're like, wait, because it's really getting real. Because they're like, wait a minute, because it's powerful. It's a powerful thing. You know, it's like the thing they say about like one finger, but when you have the fist together, you know, that's a powerful punch. You know, a couple of fingers here and there pointing don't do nothing, but how people are gathering up together. And it's just important for us to educate our kids. Like my kids, they don't really, they know some stuff, but they didn't really feel it. You know what I mean? Like they 18 and 16 years old, they know some little stuff, but this stuff is making them be like, wow, you know, it's like an eye opener. And it's like, it sounds like something from back in the day. Like we done pulled a story out from back in the day, you know, or something where we weren't here. And it's just like, and it just makes you once again be grateful for our ancestors and the people that came before us, because what we going through these things it's a lot, but they endured so much more. And it's like we really need to have some respect for them. Like this right here should really just show us like we dealing with this and that. No, we talking about they was on a whole nother level. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't nobody smiling in the protest then. Wasn't nobody dancing and shaking and doing none of that. It wasn't nothing like that, you know. So it's like to see that this is happening, that there's people that's serious and things like that, and just the love or whatever. It's just like it's just a sign of the times. It's really truly a sign of the times, you know. And then it's funny that it's going from all this black stuff, and then it's starting to look like it's going into New World Order. Like so, it's just like it's like all these things shifting. Like it's just another thing you got to look at, and just because I just take it very personal. But it also makes me want to continue to love, because I don't want to be like them. I don't, you know, regardless, I don't want to be them. I don't feel like the person that wants to be them and like, oh, you want to be, I want to treat, no, I want to be better, you know? So it's showing my kids that, and not about being vengeful. And it's not just about being vengeful. It's just really just about, it's like doing the right thing. These people is wrong, you know, they're wrong. So, and that's that. Wrong's wrong. So, you know, that's how I feel about it. And I ask myself sometimes, I'm like, I say, you know, when God made each person, and he especially made each person, and he purposely made me black and you black and her black, knowing that we could take this on, there's something in that too. Because we could have been any race. We didn't choose that. We didn't choose how we came to this world, just like we didn't choose our parents. We didn't choose our ethnicity or anything. And I'm like, God, you don't put nothing more on us than we can bear. He said you, me, and her, we can handle black. Everybody can't do it. So it gotta be something, you know? So that's why I try to look at it like, ooh, it's just getting more powerful. Like, man, this is y'all fueling me up. Like, you know, like, that's how I feel. Because people like to talk, you know, but a lot of people don't want to hear what's really going on. And right now, with the platforms and the media and all that, right now, like they say, the revolution will be televised. It's true. Like that's what's happening. So
that's definitely what it is. And I think that it's definitely a powerful movement. Way more powerful than I could ever imagine, or even our ancestors could imagine, because to know that something that happened in one city stopped countries around the world.
Right.
Like it didn't matter what happened, or no matter how much they tried to throw dirt on Mr. Floyd's name.
Yeah, they did.
No. Black Lives Matter, and that was it.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter from Sweden to Germany to all types of places, Africa. We're sitting around and we're stopping movements in countries around the world, and it started here.
Right,
amazing.
It started off in a few states, right? The first day they were protesting, they were doing things here, and then next thing you know, it was boom, 20. 30 states, 40 states.
Yes.
Oh, okay, we here now. Oh, we're protesting here. Oh crap! Like, what to do with what was going on? And it was like, okay, all right, so this is what's going on. We need to televise it. Boom.
Yes.
Every channel you turn to, it didn't matter how you watched the news. If you went and streamed it online, it was Black Lives Matter.
Right.
And we are so powerful as a unit, which and we were always taught in the years prior to this to devalue ourselves. But the people that fear and understand your value will always, it's like being in a bad relationship. The person that fears you superseding them is going to sit there and beat you down, discredit who you are as a person. America has done that to us.
Yeah.
Right.
And go ahead.
No, I was gonna say you're right. No, I was just saying I'm just agreeing with you. That's really true.
And you know, I believe black is beautiful, and what they don't tell people, and me being an educated brother, I can tell you that the stuff that I know and me having the backgrounds that I have, you know, the things that I did throughout my life, there were things that there are people driving around in cars today that don't even know that it was invented by an African American man or a black man. They're like they don't even know because they're overshadowed by the larger corporations.
Yes.
And Bluetooth and things of that nature,
Right.
Ford products weren't generated by, you know, Caucasian people. It was African American that created those things, the African American engineer. Because we always seek education because we tried to figure out how could we supersede this.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that we don't understand. And about 400 years ago, 500 years ago, that $1,200 stimulus package that Trump is saying, hey, look, I gave you $1,200 during that 40 acres and a mule situation. It was the same $1,200 400, 500 years ago.
Yeah.
But they just painted it a little different this time around 400 years later. But we have a president that pushes that propaganda, and it's like, yo, you know what? I made America great again. But if you really look at the way he pushes his agenda, he'll make you think that he really did make it great again because he gets money unemployed.
He's wrong anyway. Because make America great again, I believe America was a great idea. It never preceded this idea. Let's not say it again because it ain't making it great again. That right there is something that is yet to be determined. But the idea of America and what it was supposed to stand for was a great and wonderful idea. You know, it didn't go out that way and stuff like that. But you know, that's just going back to how God can take anything that goes into that's meant for bad and turn it to good, though. Because like I get in debates and arguments with people about stuff, and I tell them about the process of things. Sometimes the process of things we don't understand, you know. But directly, there's some things that a lot of us are misinformed about our people and about what went on and stuff like that. We're not educating our kids. We're not telling them how things were or anything like that. They don't see no real significance in it and all this type of stuff. And it's like, you know, and they push these issues. They try to push some other issues, which I'm not saying don't have any significance, and put it before about other people and about how they matter and about how these people's way of life matters and all this type of stuff like that. And it's like ultimately,
Are you still there? I think we lost you. I don't know what happened. Are you there? Like something just froze and I see a still picture. So what we're going to do is we're going to get into this next track while we figure out what's going on your end. Hopefully we didn't lose you completely, 110%. And we're going to get to this Come With It by Cantale. All right, y'all. WEFS Radio, you heard, we here. Cantale, come with it.
double up. I need someone that's gonna help me button up. I need a boost. I want some juice. I need someone more than the one into two. Won't you give it to me? Come with it, come with it, come with it, come with it. What you gon' do, boy? What you gon' do? You best do something with it, something with it, something with it, something with it. Can you come through, boy? Can you come? You better check your source if you think you know it, think you don't me. Been working on my patience, it ain't coming naturally. It'll irritate my soul if you try to do me. Know the rules to the game, so don't try to play me. I already been through the fire. I need a real ass nigga, take me higher. So what you tryna do, let me know. If you ain't with it, you can there'll be another one coming, baby, speed on higher. So come get it, come get it, come get it, yeah. Get with it, get with it, get with it, yeah. Irritate my soul if you try to play me. Know the rules to the game, so don't try to play me. I need a buzz, a double up. I need someone that's gonna help me button up. I need a boost. I want some juice. I need someone more flip from one into two. Won't you give it to me? Come with it, come with it, come with it, come with it. What you gon' do, boy? What you gon' do? You best do something with it, something with it, something with it, something with it. Can you come through, boy? Can you come through? I don't need you to make me, baby, I'm cool. So you ain't gotta teach me, baby, I'm school. You ain't gotta fake me, baby, just take me. Baby, we can break me, baby, on full. What is hitting for? Why you sitting for? We got hella things to do. What you tripping for? We gon' get down like that here in sex. You the king, you better take your crown back. Where your crown, daddy? If I had all the words to say for everything you make me feel, it probably would blow your mind. So I'ma keep it real this time. A double up. I need someone that's gonna help me button up. I need a boost. I want some juice. I need someone more flip from one into two. Won't you give it to me? Come with it, come with it, come with it, come with it. What you gon' do, boy? What you gon' do? Let's do something with it, something with it, something with it, something with it. Can you come through, boy? Can you come through?
So we got Chris Tucker in the building. We definitely got Chris Tucker in the building. That's what he said. Right. So we got that going on. So come with it. Definitely as I would classify it as more of an up tempo. It's like yo, what's up kind of thing. It's like yo, what's up? What's going on? How we gonna do this? And as I don't know which one of you said it, or what you gonna do, baby, what you gonna do, like that. I can't sing, so I probably did not sound like any one of you two. Like we definitely gonna go with it that way. But who was the first person on the track? I think I think it was. I don't know. I'm gonna say the individual to the right. Right?
Wait, to your right or our right?
I don't even know. All right.
Whatever.
So we going to do light blue and like royal blue kind of.
Okay.
And royal blue, right? Royal blue. Okay. The first.
You mean that first verse? Yeah, the first verse is me.
Oh, definitely. But I was paying attention because I watched you do this.
Y'all know that little move.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, okay, I'm doing this." They put on my music, ha ha ha, and you
right. Yeah,
but I definitely like it's definitely an up-tempo situation, and you're basically saying, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Which I don't know how that goes with the whole church thing, but we are going to leave that somewhat alone, somewhat, because we're going to talk about it just a little bit, just a little.
The church girls, we go through that sometimes.
Yo, the
I
church-
just said
yo,
I need a real man. I didn't use those words. I need a real man to take me higher. I already been through it all. Like I just, and sometimes it happens. You get caught up and wasting time and stuff.
I've always looked for a church girl because from where I'm from, I don't know if this is the same situation where you ladies are from, but church girls was always elevated in the situation that they will provide due to the fact that they were short-handed with what they was given. I don't even know if you understood what I just said. And I don't even expect you to say that you understood because it was delivered in code. It was one of those things where it was like a church girl was great when you got her home. That's it. That's all I was going to say. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
That's the way it works, and we're not even gonna just go further.
Yeah,
we're not gonna go further into that. But I think with the laughter that I heard on the other end, I think you understood exactly what I was talking about. Because those smiles are extra big over there.
I know, right? I'm showing all my teeth.
All your teeth, like I don't even know what is it, 20 something, 30 something. I don't. like you should just in a frontal. You done showed about 98% of them.
I know.
Definitely. Both ladies, like all there. So you know what I'm talking about. With your music, definitely. How would you classify your music? Because we can sit there and we can say, hey, you're more pop, but you might consider yourself R&B, or we can say you're R&B, but you might consider yourself pop, or it would be different things because depending on the region where you're producing the music, it can change the outlook on the way people see your music. So, how would you classify it?
I would classify it as R&B and hip hop. It's kind of a combination of both. It would be just R&B if it was probably just me, but because Kanisha sings and raps also, I kind of classify it as both.
Also, Tanisha got bars.
She has bars. She really does.
Bars.
She does.
Yeah. So we're gonna do the bars thing. Okay. You gonna say she got bars? She got bars.
She does.
That's overemphasizing.
And we gotta have a new. We haven't have a new genre come out. How about R&E? Like it's rhythm and experience, because it's always gonna have rhythm, but it's always about our experience, and that could be left
R and E.
Rhythm and experience.
Okay. I think y'all need to patent that.
Right.
Before it goes any further. Like this is me talking to you, Black Excellence, on some real stuff. I think you need to really look into that. Call a lawyer, something. Do something.
Because it's really that's what it is. Because at a certain point, like if you really look at it, because we have many musical debates with everybody in our family about how we classify what goes into R&B and what goes. Like, how do you now? I don't know. Like, are they looking at the beats? Are they looking at the way somebody's singing? So to me, it's just Black music, and we do everything. Just like a Black woman can have any kind of child, we can do any kind of music. Yeah, we could have any kind of music. From the spectrum is endless. I mean, there's so much to classify it some people, they might hear certain things and be like, oh, that sound like pop, might sound like R&B. But I know that it's just all experience. I can get something, a producer that does something completely opposite from this and still come up with something. And then it's like, so then do you change me into, oh, well, she could do this, or she's doing alternative and she could do, so it's all just rhythm and experience.
And it's hard for us because before we decided to be like a musical group, we were writers. And we kind of set out to write for other people. So we could write anything. We could write country, we could write, so it just depends on what the beat gives us, and that's what we give it. So it is hard to kind of label what it is that we do.
And speaking on that, right? You can write anything. And you said country.
Right.
So, I'm just saying. So you telling me you could put out some Nas X type of thing?
Yes. Confidently. Yes.
And why haven't we heard anything? And why are you not sending WEMS the track?
Well, you know what? Because look, so all these things been brewing, and like she mentioned earlier, we weren't having an outlet with it. We were just doing what we're doing at the kitchen table. Like, that's what we was doing. And then, the older that we got, you think about entertainment age, and then even myself personally, just like, well, now they're just getting a little too bit older, and they want this and that, and then it just came to me like, you know what, we can conform and go with whatever people are saying or whatever, or we could do what we do, because I don't feel regretful about anything that I put out if I set out to do something, and getting it accomplished, So I feel like, say it had been 10 years ago, and some people would have said, oh, that would have been better because 10 years ago, you guys are younger and you guys could have been, or whatever. But now just having the experience, there's less mistakes, but at the same time, the way the storytelling has improved, the art has improved. So we still have the same memories. Those don't escape us. Those are still there. But the way we learn to deliver them has changed and has improved, So it's like, because most people, they can trust, I say people tend to trust people that they followed along with. It don't matter if they started off with an artist young and now the artist could be 45 right now, but they've been with them, so it's fine. But if an artist come in at 45, then it's like, why are they doing that? Because it seems unorthodox for them to be like, why would a 45-year-old come right now making a rap album? But if you were with them when they was 20 something and you follow them to 40, you're not thinking about that, So I just feel like it's more so of you can't live for nobody else. You got to do what you got to do. Like, if it don't go nowhere, if it don't do anything, it's just the fact that I set out to do something and I did it. That's what it is.
And believing in the faith that you ladies believe in, you should know it doesn't matter what anybody else is thinking.
Right.
What you're doing, you're not doing for them.
Right.
You're fulfilling what was given to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the age 45. I know neither one of you ladies are over 28. Hey, that's what we're doing. And we're gonna rock out with
now
that.
Now you being nice.
Sipping my tea.
Now you being nice.
All right, so we're gonna rock out with 28, 29, maybe 31. Maybe.
Close. She close.
31. All right. So we're gonna rock out with that. But it's important that you fulfill what you need, what you feel you need to fulfill what you was
right.
earth to do. It doesn't matter if you did it when you were 20, if you did it when you were 30, if you did it when you was 79. It doesn't even matter. It's like it's gonna come to you when it comes to you, and the Lord speaks to you in ways that you would never understand. You can't even explain to anyone, and you're the only one that could understand it. I will tell.
And that's that on that.
I will tell you a brief story, and it happened to me we're in 2020, probably about 10 years ago. And I was walking my dog. I just started a new job teaching, actually ex-cons. And and it was a place where I started off my career in automotive repair, and I went back to teach students at that same school. Um, I can't even tell you how many years later. Actually, it was 10 years later. I went back to teach, and I was walking my dogs outside, and I could tell you, I heard God speak to me in that moment, and nobody would probably ever understand it. And God told me, "Yo, turn that away." I turned, and as soon as I turned to the right, I got hit. I got basically, if I didn't turn the inches of my body facing the way I was facing and didn't turn to the right the way that I did, I would have probably been paralyzed and dead because I got struck by a car, and what hit me on my side from me turning to the right was a side view mirror on the minivan. And what got taken about 50 feet was my dog instead of. So, like, no one can ever talk to me about, yo, God ain't real and his daddy. Like, I don't even, you're not talking to me. I'm sorry. Whatever my path is, whatever I'm on, whatever I feel I need to do, and when I feel he's talking to me, that's what I'm doing. And because my faith is real. And regardless of what people think, when that time comes to you, ladies, and you're doing what you're doing, and you feel, hey, this is what we need to do right now, because I felt that I was spoken to. I say do it. I say do it. No hesitation. Just say, hey, they gonna love it or whatever. When Moses was sitting there and he was going and he was saying what he was saying, and it just like, yo, you know what? To hell with you and your God.
Right.
All the first sons.
What happened at the end?
Yeah.
So
there you go. See, there you know.
Did I say something wrong? I just, I don't.
Come on.
I was doing hands.
No, that's how I feel. Like I feel exactly the way that you did. There's things that happen in my life that other people may not be able to attest to that I went through. That specifically, I got an instant reaction, response from God. Like nobody can't tell me. I tell people, I say, if there is a normal, I thought that was me, But when it comes to that type of thing, nobody can't tell me because I tell people all the time, it's what works. I seen it work, so it is a difference. I'm not just saying something. When I first started out being a child, and we were born into a family, a God-fearing family, but that was inherited. It changed my life when I seen it for myself, and that's a different. That moment was that defining moment. So I may have, because there's some people that came at me like that. Like the only reason why is because you can. And I was like, you're absolutely right, and I'm blessed, But there's some defining moments that happened that was like, ain't no other explanation, So nobody can't tell me nothing.
And that's for me too. I asked as an adult, like for me to know beyond a shadow of doubt for myself, and I went through my own experience too, and I'm like, okay, nobody can ever tell me that wasn't God, and for me to make it through it the way that I did, that I know it was Him. So I think that we both have established a relationship with Him of our own, and that feels good to have that outside of what we were born into,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell people, call it by name. You when you say you believe something, call it by name. I want to and see how it answers you. Don't talk to me and try to debate with me. Whatever it is you believe in, call it by name. And you attest to that. What you're trying, whatever direction you're trying to go, call it out. You got a question about what I'm doing, call it out. Ask. Don't ask me. Call it out. You know, that's how I feel about it. Like, because people love to test you about that, and even right now, in the midst of something that's incredible that's happening, and the power that's happening, and the change that's happening, there's these people coming up that's like trying to attack you on that level, you know, about that, you know, and I'm like, hey, I'm not, the battle ain't with me, you know, like, but people, you know, there's some people that feel very woke or whatever, and they, you know, they got some things.
Third eye.
Yeah, and they, you know, and they have some things to say about certain things, and I'm like, hey, you ain't gotta have a problem with me, you know, just, I say speak it, ask it then. Like, you know, if you about it, check it, see what's going on. Because when it comes down to me, I walk out the house every day with my kids every day. There's certain things I say over them, I speak over them every day, and they're fine, you know. So if you feel like you can walk in that power, you got something that's like that, test it out, see what you want to do. You know, that's just how it is. You know, I'm like not trying to argue with people or anything like that. So, but people will though. They come at you with that. You know, so.
Yeah, definitely. I believe in speaking things into existence, and if I believe in it, I'm gonna voice it. I don't need to force what I believe in on you.
Right.
This is who I am, and either you accept it or you don't. But
Mhm.
I believe, um, your situation is completely on you. I know that when it comes to that moment where I'm standing in front of the pearly gates,
Mm-hmm.
right? If there are pearly gates, it might be, and it
Right.
might not be pearly gates, but
It may be white gold or
whatever the situation. I'm like, hey, I'm here. I made sure I tried to. I sat there and I prayed. I asked for forgiveness. I did this. I did that. Yo, hey, what's good?
right.
Right? You know how are you gonna sit there and we're gonna have that conversation,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Everybody's conversation is gonna be different. You know what? I was a male whore my whole life. I asked for forgiveness 2 days before I died. You know what? It might just work out. I don't know, but it's one of those things that you never know. But to be able to have, you got to believe in something in order to understand where you're going. If you don't do it, and when it comes to your music career, when it comes to whatever you're doing, maybe you want to be the best janitor in the world. You know what? You believe that what you do every day is going to get you there. And right now, as black people, we believe us sticking together and what we're doing is going to change the world. I really do see it. I'm just truly afraid, and what I'm truly afraid of right now is that the momentum that we have is going to die down before anything truly significant happens. And I think that as people, we tend to do that a lot. It's like, yo, we go for the turn up at the moment, but we not in there. We trying to fucking rock out for fucking 12 weeks. Like, nah, 12 weeks is too long. I'm just gonna go sit in the house type shit. No, we don't need to do that. We really,
Right.
and I
Don't
think,
be a living room legend.
right. Oh shit, she got bars. It's like
bars.
bars. Living room legend, right? That's what we doing right now. What's up? You got freestyle? Yeah, we got freestyle. You got a freestyle? What's up?
Wait, like a beat, or you just want me to try to go?
You just straight acapella. Just yo, I'm prophet from the streets. I throw anything on the beat. Like I don't know. I don't rhyme, so don't ask me to say nothing. I'm just gonna go with it. But you got bars. I don't got bars.
See, that's what you got to do. Do you do that on your show? You chat some little freestyling going on?
All the time.
When? Because I need to get in.
Yo, they bring bars. Like,
that's fine. Hey, look, if the worst that could happen is it's gonna be Thursday tomorrow.
They say, sir, they be like, yo, here you go, California. Hold that. We from New York.
I mean, I love freestyling because it's something that we do in the family. Like, and, we mess up. It's real freestyle. Ain't no because we remembered something we wrote and did all that. No, it's real. It's real mess ups. It's real.
I don't think the youngest really understand the whole.
They don't.
Nah, they don't. Like they done wrote something and they're like, yo,
you got all this archives. And I'm like, come on.
They be holding their phone like this. While they freestyling.
Yeah, that ain't freestyling.
Like,
yeah, that's not. No, that's the thing. Like, if you really freestyling, I guarantee you're gonna say something that ain't gonna be cool. You're gonna be like, oh, yeah, that wasn't cool.
Nah, let me take that shit back. Let me try to fix that.
Let me start over.
You stick your finger in your ear, you gonna do this? Like, yo, I didn't do that.
Look, you're gonna be like, I'm on my own. I don't respect the law. I'm good as hell, but I got them dirty draws. They're gonna be like, wait, what?
What's going on?
You gotta mess up because you always going for the rhyme. That's how you know when it's real. When people gotta be like, did she say?
I don't know what that was.
You don't respect the law and you got dirty drawers. She then really put it out there for all y'all.
Wait. Take that back. Take that back.
Not me. You got dirty drawers.
No, for real though. When you really right on, because you're looking around at what's around you, you're taking in everything that's around you and what's in your head. So all kinds of things could happen. So
yeah, I don't freestyle. I don't even try.
That's what I look for though. I look for people that be going and going, but you can tell. But you can tell the other people though.
Because
they got a damn pat.
Like you can sit, and that's why a lot of people that do the on the spot, freestyle song, they'll say, hey, I got a word for you, throw that in there.
Right.
I'm happy at the studio that they would sit there and they would talk about the red and black pads on the wall, to the microphone hanging from the ceiling, to a lot of things that unless they was there, they wouldn't even know.
Yeah. That's to me the proof, because you mentioned something that you can grasp around you. Now, you know what I'm saying? Some of these people, and it's not the funny thing about it is it's not that you're not artistic because you can't do that. It's just don't call it what it is though. I don't mind that you write, because I love when I write because I can pay attention. I can make sure it's the right way. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But call it what it is. Sometimes you can't just do that. Some people aren't equipped to do it that way. Right here, right now, let's go, and it's fine. But when you try to come in like you just really just going fresh, and you know who your opponent is, first of all, I feel don't let nobody know your opponent then, because then they over there did research and wrote it down, talking about this and that. No, that's cheating.
That's like those battles.
It definitely is. Like, I don't know how much you ladies are into battle rap and URL and all that stuff.
Yeah. I like Geechee Gotti, but I like a lot of them.
Oh, like I interviewed Cassidy a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah, Cassidy.
Cassidy's like, I'm the king of battle rap. Like, can't nobody mess with me. Like, I was the one that made them start cutting checks. Like, and I believe it because
me too.
It was people in the back of, like, you in California. Do you have bodegas like we have here? Like,
no, I've never been to a bodega.
You never been to one? Yeah, like y'all missing. No. Like that shit got everything. Like everything that you need at the moment, it's in the bodega. Like for real. And then we even got battle rap going on in the back row and
cool. I love it. I wish we could do that. Because I did my little practicing before. Like, you watch that, make you want to be like that. Because they have you. The thing is, it's the culture and the way that they do stuff. They be like, this is not a war. It's just a tackle. I'm a battle rapper. smack the raffle. Like it was like like they just I'd be like, I need to learn how to do that. Like when I be watching it and they be like, you reaching. I be like, I need to know. I love watching it because I've seen, it used to be like a few years ago, I really used to watch it. I haven't been watching it in the last few years, but before though, I was watching like some incredible people. They had props. They had, I watching all these things and I was just loving it because it's really just a real art, and watching those people do that.
Yeah, that's definitely a place like we wanted to go this year for my birthday this year. I don't know how that's gonna work out with the COVID and everything, but yeah, New York is definitely a place that we have to get to and experience. Definitely.
No, you definitely gotta experience it.
Yes.
As far as when it comes to New York and the support for the culture, it is very different from probably what you've experienced out in California.
Yeah.
Because New York don't support New York. We'll support everybody else, but we won't support our own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I know that's a lot of places though.
But for here, we are always at war. Like, yo, you from 110th Street and the other person lives on 111th. You guys are literally probably like about less than 100 feet apart, and we're not
rivalries. Like real
rivalries. Like, no, I'm not gonna support your music and this, that, and it's just weird.
Yeah.
They won't even come out to your shows, and these are people that you grew up with, type of thing, and because they're in another building, and but you ate food dinner with their mother or whatever. It's just weird.
It's ridiculous.
It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But across the country is definitely different. But New York is definitely a different vibe. You can it promotes the hustle because as they say, if you can't make it here, you can't make it anywhere.
Yeah. And
we're the city that never sleeps. We're over 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Not under the COVID-19 situation, but we are here to really. You can perform at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning here. Like you can perform standing on the corner at 6 o'clock in the morning while people are trying to get to work. Like like it's just crazy here, and it's just the culture here because we're always going, always.
Right. So what about the dancing, like the b-boy thing? Is it still going on? Like, do they do like,
Not that I've seen.
Yeah.
Like if you see something, it's probably a couple of dudes here and there probably doing it. Like New York City Transit is really like kill that whole. I don't know if you've ever seen b-boy dancing on the train in New York.
Yeah,
I have seen people. Yeah, some people. Yeah.
Right, but they utilize the poles and everything.
Yeah, and the thing they be flipping up and doing all that. Yeah.
All that. Transit modified their poles so they can't spin around them. But that's just
those are street strippers. You got to give them their respect.
Let them do what they do. But yo, when they about their business, you can't even stop them. So you sit there and you split the pole and now you double it up. They sitting there and they figuring out how to switch hands. And
right.
Yo, because they still do it, and you can't stop an individual's creativity. You can sit there and put obstacles in front of them. Yeah. If that's what they want to do, they're going to do it regardless.
They're going to do it. That's true.
They'll find a way. And I just believe that. And when you're built for it and that's God's plan, you're going to do it regardless. Are you going to come across obstacles during your journey? Yes, you will. But that's your faith. I truly believe that. It's to test your faith. And it's not God that is testing you. It is the devil showing God that you truly don't believe.
Yeah.
And that's it.
And that's an interesting perspective, because
it's not God. God's like, yo, look, I got this for you. We got the pearly gates. We might have the solid gold gates. We might have the platinum gates. We might have the wood gates. Right. But if you want to get to these bad boys, I'm here.
Maybe, Where is it? Right there.
So
Light.
we're about to get out of here. We actually went overtime.
Did we?
We're-
Good.
yeah,
That means you liked us a little bit.
a little something. I'm just saying. It works out that way. But you know what? It always has to go with the conversation and
Mhm.
who
Yeah.
you speak to at the time and their ability to converse with you,
Mhm.
right? A radio interview is never just about the music, it's about the person because
Mhm.
when it comes to music, you have your tracks that you put out, but with the way the industry is and the way the
Mhm.
world is today, where people gravitate is to the individual. And
Right.
I like to create that environment where people can say, hey, you know what? I watched this interview and I feel like I know them. So
Right.
Yeah.
they get your views, they get where you're moving, where you came from, how you feel. They can vibe with your music, but they're like, oh my goodness, they grew up in a church. Now I really vibe with them.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Or oh my goodness, she got bars.
Yeah.
That is because I didn't say she had bars. You said she had bars. So you know what? It's like, oh, she got bars. So now I'm gonna go look for the bars.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things, and it has to be that way because there is so much content that's being put out there daily, millions of
Mhm.
content.
Yeah.
But the content that is valued the most is when you. It's weird to say, but when you become most vulnerable to the masses.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That's another word.
Yo, you just got to do it.
Yeah.
So I want you to tell everybody where they can follow you, where they can listen to your music,
Okay.
and obviously you got a YouTube channel, right? Possibly, maybe. Do
We
you?
don't have a YouTube channel, not a specific channel, but we do have some videos and things like that on YouTube. We don't have a channel just yet. So,
All right, so
yeah. The Flosity channel, yeah.
we need to talk about that. They're like,
It's not a Cantale channel, but we do have our producer has a channel. It's the Flosity channel.
I'm gonna have to send you an email personally.
Okay, send me one.
We're gonna have to fix that.
Yes.
So go ahead, tell everybody how they can follow you and find your music.
We're on Instagram at she Cantale, so at she underscore Cantale on Instagram. Our music is streaming everywhere: Pandora, iTunes, Spotify. We do have a video coming out soon that will be on YouTube, so you can search it under Cantale to be come with it, not come with it. But yeah, so we're streaming pretty much everywhere on all streaming sites, and like we said, hoping to get on Sirius Radio soon. So.
Yeah, we have, but Floss City Entertainment, like anything, they're always going to have all our stuff on there.
Mm-hmm.
And you can check out everybody from our camp. We got King Izzy, we got 100 Proof, we got Doug, we got Let Loose. Let Loose, that's the one who produced our Come With It and a few other tracks on our stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we're just developing it as well.
Yeah.
You know, trying to get some more things because this is our first project that we publicized, I should say. Not the only first thing that we've done, but the first thing that we publicized, you know, so it's like, but out there, we want the support because I'll support you. Y'all watching, I'll support you. You know, I support my people. You put the work in, I support it. That's the same thing I want. We put in the work, support us. I support you too. You know, I don't have no problem with supporting people that's putting the work in, especially my people. So it's all love, it's mutual, you know? So, yeah.
Can't tell.
Yeah.
Yo, I think that's amazing. And although this is our first interview together, I definitely with your camp and everything that you got going on and all those people, 100 Proof and everybody that you mentioned.
Yeah.
This will not be the last time that we interact with each other. Trust and believe. I truly believe that we are always put in someone's path for a reason and nothing is ever left up to chance.
Yeah.
and we're going to sit there and we're going to move a certain way.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and WEMS actually has been looking at opening up a location on the Midwest and the West
Oh,
Coast.
awesome. Yeah.
So this is where we can have live interviews and
Yeah.
everything else in different cities on the West Coast.
Yeah.
I'm a West
I
Coast.
want to be a DJ. So if y'all looking for DJs,
That's what you're doing. Uh-oh. So
don't forget.
I won't forget. I don't forget nothing. I don't forget anything.
And we speak it into existence. So we will see you again. We'll interview again, or we'll see you over here, definitely.
Yo, and you know how to reach us.
Hmm.
You got to do is reach out. We'll talk.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Shout out to Golden Heart Management Group. That really she's one that's I want to say she's my right hand, probably my
Yeah.
left hand. Like I don't even think I got any hands when it comes to her.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right. Hmm.
No, for real. Like she believes,
Bars.
she
Hmm.
believes in in what was started,
Yeah.
and I could tell you that it didn't get started if it wasn't for her because
Yeah.
I could run my mouth all day. I used to get paid to talk. I tell you, I used to,
Let me get my spirit fingers to her.
no, for real, like, like for real.
Yeah.
And she believed in it so much. She's like, yo, you need to do this. And it happened because she spoke it into existence.
Right.
So for me, I'm always gonna make sure that I never disappoint her
Yeah.
because she believed in me that much. So
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's how we feel about like Big Raj, who believed in us. And we also want to thank Jamila. We didn't get to see her or anything tonight, but that's who we've been in contact with for
that's
even.
Golden Heart Management Group right there. That's her.
Yeah, yeah, okay,
Oh,
yeah.
her. I'm telling you,
Yeah. Hmm.
she is the one that she keeps. I hate to say it, but
Yeah.
she keeps me booked and busy.
You
Like,
love, don't say
yeah,
you hate to say it. You love to say it. You love to say it. Don't say you hate to say it. You love to say it.
yo, for real. Like she keep me booked and busy. Like for real. Like it's one of those things. Like she really does it, and
Yeah.
it's like I'll be like really. I got how many interviews today? Like, and she's like, well, and I'm like, oh my gosh.
Mhm.
But it's crazy because it just happens because the amount of people that I interview during the week, th- there's a lot of people in the industry that are not doing that, and
Right.
we're creating content,
Mhm.
and it has nothing to do with us monetizing or doing whatever. It's
Yeah.
it's the love for
That's the beauty.
the,
That is the beauty right there.
Yeah.
the love for it. So it's like, hey, yo, you know what? You putting out videos, you doing what you're doing, you got new music.
Yeah.
Yo, we're gonna provide the links, we're gonna provide the audio, we go everything that happened today.
Yeah.
Yo, you need it, you're gonna get it in the email.
Yeah, and
With
you
no
know what? It's
problem.
like we've dealt with a lot of different people in different studios and things, so we definitely appreciate the professionalism that WEMS has just in general. Very professional on top of it, and we really respect that.
Yes.
And it's like you go on the WEMS channel, the
Mhm.
link is gonna be there, the whole
Yeah.
interview is gonna be there.
Yeah.
Right.
The second half of the show for tonight. We had
Mhm.
another artist on the first half, but
Yeah.
actually, like I got a whole nother situation going on right now. But we're really gonna talk about that. But um, it's just the content is there. If you need the material to promote
Yeah.
that to whatever is there, and it's I'm not asking. We're not asking. I don't want to say I. We're not
Yeah.
asking for anything from you, but just to
Yeah.
provide us with the information to be able to elevate what you got going on. And
Yeah.
I think that that's where we kind of fail as people sometimes because we're looking for. I'm not looking for a come up. I'm like, yo,
Yeah.
you know what? We can move at this together. How about
Yeah.
we build a
Good.
team and we take the hell over? Like
Yes.
we done destroy everything.
Quality over quantity. You know.
I'm telling you, that's what it is. So, it has been a pleasure, definitely a
Yeah.
pleasure. And I don't know, I know that you're promoting what you're doing as a group, but on a personal level, do you have social media handles that where people can
Oh,
follow
yeah.
individually?
Yeah, well, my social media, my Instagram is Lena Boo. So it's just L33NABOO. That's my Instagram. Yeah.
Okay.
And mine is Naily Not You. That's NALI _NOTCHU. Naily Not You. So that's what my thing is. But I want to say something to you though, because we're planning on doing our video release for the Come With It song. And I want to see if maybe we can arrange something with you so we can release it maybe with y'all.
Email.
Oh yeah. If like that's something we could talk. We don't got to talk about it here right now.
Yeah, not right here, but I just want to throw that out there.
We could definitely premiere it on our channel. Definitely, so that when you want to release it at whatever time you want to release it, that's something we'll discuss, and
Okay.
we'll talk about it. Everything will be scheduled on the platforms that we do frequent,
Right.
and
Okay.
and it'll air, and that'll be it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's cool.
Why did we do it? I definitely did get the preview. There was four cups with champagne in it. I think it was champagne, maybe. I wasn't involved, so I was a little jealous.
Actually, Belvedere and
Oh, it was Belvedere. Oh, so y'all was popping Belvedere.
Belvedere and champagne.
yeah.
I so that's what y'all was doing. I didn't have a cup, so I was a little jealous.
Hey,
It's just what it was.
What they call you? What's your handle? What they call you?
Yo, Prophet _radio_NY. Yo, Prophet.
That makes sense, Prophet.
Like, yo, Prophet.
Okay, Reverend. My name for you though. That's Reverend Prophet right there. Now,
but the crazy part is that when everybody hears Prophet, you like the PH, blah blah blah. Nah, I'm Prophet, Money Prophet, PROFIT. I'm about my bread. Like I don't care what anybody say.
Don't try to miss your calling. It's both ways.
What how you say
that?
Yeah,
it's profit and profit.
Right?
Don't try to cover that up. We know that it is a profit and a profit. Hey, matter of fact, it's a profit. So
profit. Yo, make sure y'all cop those Prophet t-shirts all the time. Yo, because
right.
What? Hold up. This side of the house. We got the 7. All right. We got the Prophet right here.
Yeah, I like that.
Out here. I'm telling you, like, I got a whole graphic design apparel business outside of the radio stuff. So,
I like that. So how can we find your stuff? How can we find your products and everything? How we find that?
We got Top Shelf Graphics, so we got Top Shelf, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like we all up on the Top Shelf. We got graphics with an S at the end. We don't do the X, it's the proper way to spell it, right? Mm-hmm. And then NYC.com, right? That's where you can find all our services and everything else, right? Okay. If you were looking for us on Instagram to see what we've done, we got is top_shelf_graphics_NYC, and you'll see all the products and the services that we have going on. And if you go to profitradioNY.com, you will see a lot of the new products that we have out, some of the shows that we have out, some of the guests and the features that we have on the websites.
Yeah.
But 99.9% of the time, everything is on WEMSradio.com.
Yeah. Okay. Before we go, though, too, I wanted to shout out Juice. He's another artist on Floss City. So want to give him his credit.
Juice. Yeah. We got some juice.
Yeah.
Juice. Yeah. All of us. Big Raj, definitely, though. You know, we got to give him them thumbs up. But we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you giving us the time, because I always say time ain't wasted. You know, it's a decision. Ain't no such thing as wasted time. You choose your time wisely. And I thank you that you gave us this time right now.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
And we're going to do this again. And then especially when we do the video release, once you go to release it, you let us know. We want to take care of you here at WEMS Radio.
Oh, yes.
All right.
Love it. We love it.
We'll talk to you real soon.
All right. Have a
New
great
York, New York.
evening. All right, ladies. Have a good night.
You too.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We keep having the same arguments. I mean, I don't really get it. We don't even make love. Takes so much to make love. Make it worth the fight. Yelling, we dropped out of heaven, taking me through hell, and here we are again. I submit, you call it quits, so I decide that I'm over it. Can't have this, we suffering, and since it's really love, why would you give it up? Why can't you leave me halfway? Leave me halfway.
Phoenixx.
Can't sleep, hold my pillow tightly, hold my chest, I can't breathe. Did you notice it?
Make sure you tune in every week. Profit Radio. That's Profit. PROFIT_radio_NY. We do it big. We interviewing all around the world. We doing things real different around here. Stop playing, y'all. And we love you. Thank you for tuning into WEMS Radio, where we do it bigger than life.